Hey everybody, today is the third Friday of the month, and that means we are at Mulders Rods, and I am here there he is right there, Mr. Billy Mulder. We're back for another update. How you doing, Billy?
We're doing good today.
Been busy?
Been real busy.
I can tell by looking around you've been busy.
It's a little too cold this week, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's starting to warm up a little bit.
We got a heater here.
Yeah.
We got a heater down there that warm this place up, but it's really loud.
Really loud and really stinky, so.
You're making a sacrifice for the sake of the video to shut her down. And I don't know, we can start wherever you want to. This is a house car right behind you, right?
This is a house car. This belongs to my son Chase. We brought it in.
Chase's?
Had some carburetor issues, so we're getting that lined out. So it's an original paint. 57 that I found in Shelby, Texas, and Chase bought it from me, and he done a full build on it, but he wanted to leave the body looking all original, so it's kind of a sleeper car.
So Billy was showing me a little bit just before we started rolling the film. Show you something very interesting he showed me about this car. If you live around the Brenham area, you might know this car was originally purchased at Max Zulke, how you pronounce that? Max A. Zulke in Burton, Texas, a car dealership. Burton, Texas is a little bitty town. I guess population of a few hundred maybe, right?
Yeah, that's where I live, Burton.
But they used to have car dealerships in really small towns. They had one in a little small town I grew up in. You see, this car is not like a show car fixed up like Billy does to other ones with the restorations. And this is the thing, some people leave cars as they were, like where they have all of that history and they're still carrying it with them. Can we look at that interior?
Sure.
Billy, like you showed me? Check this out. You're looking at the outside of this car, you think, man, that's pretty rough. When you look inside, and I'm not sure how good the light is, but look at that beautiful the plaid seats. I mean, this is really sweet, the interior of this car. And from what I understand, originally, when Billy bought the car, right, it had a 6-cylinder in it.
It did.
It was in a barn. And now it's Chase's, and it doesn't have a 6-cylinder
Oh
anymore.
no, it's big horsepower, small block car, 6-speed, full chassis underneath it. It's a nice piece.
I think the expression you used is it'll sit you back in your seat a little bit.
It will.
Yeah.
It will get down the road.
So what's you got it in here for? What's he going to do to it?
It's got a carburetor issue. We got the carburetor off of it, doing some work on it.
Okay.
It'll be back on the road.
In-house repair of your son's car.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
We do a lot of that.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of your space and time is taken up with
That's
in-house
a good perk
cars.
you have, when you have a shop.
Yeah, I would think it'd be pretty sweet. Your dad owns a hot rod shop. Is pretty good lick in life.
It is.
All right, so right behind it, what is that, a 55 or 56?
That's a 56. That one's mine. I bought it a few months back. It's a 4-door, but it's a cool car. It's original 44,000 original model car.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of a thing. I don't know how far back I'm talking about, but at one time, as I was growing up or whatever, everybody, you wanted a coupe or a convertible, right? A 4-door, a sedan of those, that was, nobody wants that.
Right.
But now, and maybe that's because of the shortage of the 2-doors.
It is. There's people building 4-doors now.
Yeah, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
It's more of
There's a lot of people that still don't like them, but
yeah,
still a cool car.
Is this something you've ever done or heard of? I've heard tell of people, and I think I've seen a couple, where people actually remove that back door. They make a 2-door out of it.
We're considering making this a 2-door out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not terrible to do, but it can be done. You just got to find the right parts. And
if you, with all the knowledge and the history and all, I can't imagine how many 55, 56, or 57 Chevys you've dealt with over the decades. If a car pulled in here and that had been done to it, would you easily recognize that's not
if it's
a
done
natural
right,
2-door?
No, not really. If it's
So
done right.
A converted 2-door, would all the depth of the length of the door be the same as one that came as a 2-door?
You have to put 2-door you'd have to put coupe doors on it, so to make it correct.
Oh, so that
Doors are different.
that front door doesn't stay.
No, it has to have a coupe door on it, and the door post moves back, and the quarter panel comes up, and everything has to be moved
See,
configuration-wise.
I envisioned it as you would like weld up, and sand down
Oh no, it's
that
a little,
gap and remove the
little-
handle.
a little more intense than that. Yeah, yeah. To do it right, you got to do it right. Yeah,
Why couldn't you do that?
you could but
Seal
it
that
wouldn't-
back door all the way around and
It wouldn't look
do the-
right. So I built my daughter a car, 49 Chevrolet, and it's a 4-door, but we wanted to keep the doors, so all we did was shave the rear handle off
Yeah.
and made it all smooth back there. So if the first glance, you're like, well, it's a 2-door, but it's really not. It's a 4-door. So you
I
have to
got
open
you.
it up from the inside. That's another trick you can do. It looks pretty cool.
Is this one in for work? Just
No, it's
being
just here
stored
for
here.
storage right now.
I see. Speaking of storage, how's the new shop coming along?
Slowly, but it's coming.
When do we get to see the new shop? A month from now?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully.
That's what you said last month.
Yeah, the weather's kind of slowed us down a little bit, and contractors are busy, and so it's
Yeah, I get it.
It is what it is. It'll get there when it gets there.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah,
Well, let's see. Was that a Malibu or a Chevelle?
that's a Chevelle.
Chevelle SS?
72 SS.
72.
Yeah.
What's it here for?
We're getting the seats redone on it. He's not comfortable in the car, so we took the seats out, and my upholstery guy come and got them, and he's going to make him more comfortable in the driver's seat, so he can enjoy it a little bit more.
It's a really sharp looking ride.
It is. We painted this car this past summer.
I think you did a nice job. It's a beautiful paint job.
Yeah, it turned out real nice.
And this is somebody local?
Yes, he's a.
Oh, I like that.
Brenham.
It's got that logo right there in front of the cowling there.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Very nice detail in this car. Is he keeping the same seats, just having them reupholstered, not putting in some? I notice a lot of people will get those custom racing seats,
Yeah, these are going to be the original seats. They're just doing the foam a little bit different, so he was a little more comfortable in the car.
Yeah, this very beautiful ride. I'd be proud to own this car. Looks like, is the rear end narrowed on this car?
No, it's factory.
Oh, that's pretty good, nice fat tires on it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And so the Apache, we really don't have an update. Billy told me.
No,
it's
we haven't been able to work on it in the last few weeks, so we'll get there. We just got a lot going on.
Yeah. Let's go look at the square body.
All right.
We have made a lot of progress
We've
there.
made some progress on the square body. We've got the tires and the brakes on it, and fuel tanks.
Check out those brakes, four-wheel disc brakes, and those are not ones you go down to O'Reilly's and pick up this.
They are not. They are some of the top of the lines in the market, and we just started on the exhaust, so we're starting to put the exhaust on it, and
Got fuel tanks mounted.
fuel tanks are mounted.
Exhaust, brakes,
Yeah,
something else.
we're putting we got the insulation in the
wheels
AC
and
in the
tires.
cab.
Oh yeah. So that might seem like a simple, easy thing. Hey, we got the insulation in the cab. That's some time-consuming, tedious work right there.
Yeah, it takes a few minutes to put that in.
get everything fitted.
we got
nice and tight.
We got the AC mocked up underneath the dash,
Yep, that's a
so
big step. So it's coming along.
come along, step at a time.
So get this, everybody. Let's touch on this right quick, Billy, and without getting any too personal or giving away too much. But I think it's pretty interesting. The guy that's having this square body built, what does he do for a living?
He is a coach driver for usually musicians.
Right,
Right now he's out on tour with Blake Shelton.
right. So is that cool or what?
Yeah,
The guy's driving a tour bus for Blake Shelton.
he's got an
and
interesting job.
His last tour was Pink, I think you
Pink.
said.
Last tour he got off of Pink, and now he's on Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me tell you this: if you watch my channel, know how my mind works. I've already asked Billy, and I don't know if it'll happen or not, but when the guy has a break in between, tours, and he gets a little bit of time off, I'm hoping to get to sit down with him. I think you said he's been doing this for 25 years.
Yeah, something 20 plus years.
Can you imagine the great stories that he has and the interesting people he's met? And I'm sure he's had some challenges, like bad weather, and hey, we got to be in Detroit by tomorrow night.
He drives some miles, believe me.
Yeah,
They put
it
some
sounds
miles
like
on.
it. Very cool. And I think he's going to have a very cool truck when you get
Oh, yes,
done.
he will.
All right. It's getting pretty close to that time to go racing, right?
It is. It's getting real close.
About a month away.
About a month away.
Let's go talk about a race car.
Okay.
When I got here today, this man was waist deep into a race car. All I could see was his butt sticking out. His head was buried down into the inside of his race car, and there was grinders going and air blowing and sparks flying and every kind of stuff.
So we got our new transmission. It's already sitting in the car, but I'm having to do some adjustments on the chassis to get it in there. So that's what I was doing when you got here. So
got a tranny there in place, but to get it fitted in and make it work.
yeah, we're doing a little
modification.
Do a little modification. So we're getting there. Hopefully we can get the test here in the next week or so, and if we get some good weather. It's been too cold here lately.
How confident are you that you will be at the track racing in a month?
Very.
Very confident? There's a man that knows what he's doing.
Yep.
Got faith.
Yeah, well, we'll be there.
I can't wait. And the door's off, but this is Chip's Revenge, if you recall. And since I mentioned that, I've asked Billy to do something, and he's perfectly willing to do so. We started this series 2 months ago, and kind of covered how Billy got started, or where his interest in this, all that we see here came from. All these beautiful old cars and the restoration of cars and hot rods, you know. The love of this stuff came from somewhere. And he told us that came from his dad. Your dad was a fireman, a full-time professional fireman, and he loved cars.
Right.
And you grew up around that.
Right. So when I was a toddler, Dad was racing this car. So
Yep.
we lived in a small little house in Lancaster, and Dad was at work, and I was out milling around in Dad's garage. He had the motor out of it, sitting on a bench, and he had it tore down to the bare block. So the story I got from Mom was when Dad got home, he went out to the shop, and I'd been out there, and I'd filled up every hole.
How old were you at this time?
Toddler.
Oh, just a wee lad.
I'd filled every hole up in the block with bolts and nuts and anything I could find laying on the ground, rocks or whatever. So Dad had to spend the rest of the day cleaning out the block that I'd filled up. So that was a pretty cool story.
So you wanted to work on the engine like him.
Yeah. So I filled all the holes up that I thought needed filling up.
Well, he probably wasn't real happy with that, but
He wasn't
probably
real
kinda
happy, but
smiled
Mom
about it.
said he wasn't mad enough to scold me over it. He said he just
Right.
just cleaned it out and went on about his business.
And you wound up spending a lot of time in that shop and other shops later
Oh
on.
yeah, all
through the
kinds
years.
of shops. We went from drag racing to dirt car racing, and I remember being in all kinds of shops during my growing up days. And you know, be at some shop almost every night. Dad'd be working on it. We'd be playing in the shop with whatever.
I remember you talking about that dirt car racing was part of the history that you've had or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
how do you think it worked out for you? Maybe that was because of your dad too. So you come to that fork in the road, are we going to be a drag racer or a dirt car racer, right? And you wound up on the drag side, which I love them both.
Yeah.
But what triggered
I
that
don't know.
decision?
We
you
dirt
know?
car raced for I don't know a number of years when I was young, and I don't know. I just like the drag racing better. You know, so that's kind of just pushed me over the edge there.
But you like dirt car racing?
Oh yeah,
still
we go.
too, right?
We go and watch it still. Yeah, if we get some time off, we go watch it.
Asphalt ovals and
Yeah, all of it.
oh, me too.
Yeah, but it just I don't know. Drag racing is my passion, so that's where we ended up.
Yeah. So you really don't have any big updates on the two pickups back there, Chase's trucks, right?
No, he's been working too much, so he hadn't had time to work on them. He's at another truck show today. They got a big truck show in Conroe today, LST.
Okay. Well, here's what I'd like to do. We haven't in the previous 2 episodes. We've never made it far enough back in the shop to look at the paint booth and talk about why do you need a paint booth? You know, why can't you paint a car right here? Can you tell us about that?
Well, it has to be. Yeah, we
let's
can
go
go.
see.
We can go back there and see the booth. Yeah,
All
we've
right.
got one we just painted back there.
Let's go see a paint booth.
Okay.
And we'll learn about why you need a paint booth and exactly what that's all about. Might be interesting. If you've never painted a car professionally, maybe something new to you. We were on the way back to the paint booth and came across another one of Chase's toys. He likes things that I like, and he's got a lot of them. That is a KTM. What is that? That's like a 360 or 400cc or something like that? Or
I'm not sure. I think it's a 450.
450.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that.
That, people, is a badass motorcycle right there.
It is.
You have to know how to ride to crawl on that and do it safe and not kill yourself.
Exactly.
He was telling me he rode a lot in the National Forest, and he was talking about the guards, and that there you see, that's so you don't bust your hand all to pieces or rip it up, bumping into trees. And he said it's inevitable that you are going to bump into trees at one point or another. Pretty cool. That's a nice looking bike.
Getting the paint.
I won't get real deep into this one. It's just getting started. This is a new project in the shop. You can see there's been some body work done, some sanding and stuff. This is a 99 Chevrolet pickup. And in the not too distant future, it's going to wind up right over there. See, that looks like a big gray box over there? That is where we are headed. And there is actually a project in the paint booth right now. You've seen it before. It's an old Chevy truck that's being painted in the original, that green that was so popular through that era. I don't even know what they call that.
They called it light green.
Light green.
That's it.
Not really an exotic name, but
paint code 503. It was a pretty common
with
color.
Those old trucks, and you've seen that color a lot. What makes the paint booth special, Billy?
Paint booth is a controlled environment, so you can control your temperature, you can control the air and your dust particles and stuff like that to keep it clean atmosphere when you're painting.
And bugs. Don't get bugs. I had a guy paint a car for me one time.
Keep the bugs out too. So
a Camaro, and right in the middle of the air intake on the hood, this big, I don't even know what it was, a big old ugly bug. When that thing was wet, he just landed right in the middle of it.
They'll do it. So this is called a side draft booth. So it brings the air from the roof down, and then it pulls it out on the bottom on these filters on the side and pushes it out the top.
Up there in the ceiling, you see those two big panels with the kind of green color. That's air in.
That's air in, and it exits on the sides. It's called a side draft booth.
And so what moves that air? Are there fans up there in the roof?
There's fans on the exterior. They're set on top of the booth. There's one on each side, and it pulls the air through the booth.
And unfortunately, Stefan is not here today, but he left his mark. Stefan painted that, and that is Chase's Instagram.
That is Wade's Instagram.
Oh, Wade. This is Wade's Instagram.
Wade is the painter.
Logo. And so on Instagram, that's his Instagram account. If anybody's on Instagram,
yes, it is.
Wade is Paintman65. So if you want to look him up, I don't know, does he post a lot of stuff there, Billy? You know?
A little bit.
Yeah. There's the hood, beautifully painted. This is all done, right?
Not completely. It still has to be cut and buffed.
Cut and buffed.
Yes, that's where we sand it. And then it'll be buffed with a
the
power buffer.
Wet sanding is really super fine.
Yeah, we sanded about 3 times with 3 different grits.
Something that shiny and glossy and everything, it seems like a strange thing if you don't know much about it to say, I'm going to sand that. But you can't, with that, the grit of that, you can't even really tell that
it's like you're sanding with just paper.
Like,
yeah,
it's super
really
smooth.
Really smooth, yeah.
Almost like a low. So that's an air system for where it supplies the paint gun.
Yeah, it dries the air out, keeps all the moisture out of the paint gun.
Oh, so those aren't just like filters. That's actually an air dryer. Does it have that desiccant in it?
They actually have filters in them, yeah. They're just a filter system for the moisture.
I got you. All right. Well, there's a paint booth. And you will have, When you move to the new shop, this paint booth goes with you.
It does go with
You move
us.
the whole thing.
It's got to be disassembled and reassembled.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
Big fun, yeah. Spent a few hours in this booth, haven't you?
Yes.
And Wade has spent a few hours in that booth.
And this is the cab for the truck bed we just looked at.
Yeah, so it'll be in that paint booth pretty soon, huh?
Monday or Tuesday, probably.
Coming right along.
Mm-hmm.
All right.